All right, guys, so today I'm going to show you how to do this completed look. Pretty much sad heart face, even though I'm full smiley because I'm so happy to be back on YouTube. I know it's been a while, but I'm just super excited. The things that you'll need for this look today is going to be the Lisa Frank palette. If you want, I mean, you can use any other red shadows or anything like that. I'm just showing you what I use. The Jaclyn Hill palette, as well as the Mayron face paint. You will need some type of face paint to get all of this red. And pink face paint to do the highlights or whatever. So that's what you'll be needing. Whatever lashes you want, whatever else you want to use. Other than that, let's jump right in. Thank you so much, guys, for watching. Follow, subscribe, like, do all the above. All right, guys, so I'm gonna start off with my brows. I have the e.l.f. pomade. This is a really good pomade. I just pretty much work that all the way through my brow as if I was doing a normal brow at first. And then you will see I start to create that little line right there to get that facial expression that we want. And we're just going to keep bringing that line on up. I originally filmed this video with sound, but the neighbors are selling the house across the street, so they're doing a bunch of work, and it's just too loud. So now I have to do this voiceover. So you may hear them as well. You may hear some banging. Next, we're going to go ahead and conceal. I'm using the Tarte Shape Tape, and we're just cleaning up that brow. We're just hiding all the little hairs at the bottom. Just trying to make it look more crisp. When it comes to eyebrows, I feel like they are very, 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 very important. So I stress on that a lot. It's probably because I had really bad brows back then. And then we're going to do the same thing to the other side. I made that line a little bit shorter so they don't look exactly the same. Even though in this video they do, they really aren't. You can tell in the pictures on Instagram that they are not the same. So next we are just priming our lids. We're going to go ahead and blend that in. You need to make sure it's blended in thoroughly because it is hard to blend your shadow if your concealer is not blended correctly. And we're just blending it. And the next step is to pick up that Lisa Frank Morphe Brushes 35B palette. We're going to start working those colors into the lid. I'm just pretty much patting them in. What I like to do when I'm doing bright colors, I like to pat them in first, and then I go in by blending. Now, when you're blending, you want to make sure you're using the brush the right way. You don't want to hold the brush too tight or too close to the bristles. You want to hold it at the very end. And you can see me just working that in. I like to do back and forth motions. You can do circular motions. To me, I just feel like the back and forth is faster. I could be wrong, but that, again, just to me, that's my technique I like to use and that I learned. And we're just blending that on in, as you can see. Just continue to blend until you like the way it looks. That's all I can say. I can't say like, oh yeah, let's just stop blending now. You have to like the way it looks. Next, we're going to go ahead and pick up the Maybelline Age Rewind Concealer. I get this at Target or any local drugstore. This is another concealer that I believe in hardcore. That's what we use to prime our lids. Now we're going to go ahead and we're going to cut our crease. You can either start with the line first, which some people do, or you can go ahead and start filling it in first and then doing the line. It's all up to preference, like I'm saying, pretty much like the blending and everything. I do both ways. Today I just chose to do it a different way, I guess. Or sometimes I just feel like you forget to do something, so you start doing one thing and you're like, ah, well, we're just going to work with it. It's kind of what happened there. So we have both eyes cut. Now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and blend that red that we were just using about halfway to the eye. And as you can see, I just picked up a little bit of that red, I picked up a little bit of that red and I'm blending it in. Now we're going to pick up a little bit of black shadow and we're going to blend that in. And then we're going to take the NYX Cosmetic liner. We're going to pop that on and make a nice wing. Now, when you're doing the wing, you want to make sure you're not holding the liner down. As you can see, the technique I'm using is a flick. So pretty much I go ahead and I flick when I get to the end of that line. After we have the eyeliner on, I'm going to take a little bit of lash glue. I feel like it works best more than the NYX glitter glue. And then I'm going to take some NYX glitter, and that is in the color MGLI05. I like to call it pixie dust because it just matches every single color I use. Every single color. No matter what I use, I feel like this color is the best. So pretty much we're going to take some, this is a e.l.f. brow pencil I'm using. And I'm just going to outline where our heart is going to be on the face. You just want to make sure it's as even as possible. Play around with it. If you don't like one side, fix it up. You can always wipe it away. I literally just wiped it with my finger. Also, a wipe worked. It was really easy to remove though. So if you mess up, do not stress. And pretty much we are just going to finish doing that heart. Now, we're going to go ahead and pick up some red paint from the Mayron paint palette. And we're going to go ahead and start outlining that brown line that we just did. And you're just going to continue to outline. You want to make sure you have that line perfect. And don't worry if you can see a little bit of that brown under. You'll see why later. Now you see I can clean it up a little bit. There we go. And again, I was supposed to be talking in this video, but when I heard the audio, it was so bad, like so bad. I was just to the point where I was just like, whatever. We're just gonna voice over this. We'll figure it out. The video was like way longer, but since I had to do it, it didn't make sense when I was at certain parts. So I just had to shorten it up and everything. So we're just filling out the other side of that heart. Again, be careful when you're lining out. If you do mess up, this is water paint. Like you can just remove it with water. Even if you use too much water, it gets runny. So water will wipe this right off. Now we're just going to go in with a larger flat brush. And we're going to go ahead and start filling in the heart. As you can see, I'm kind of staying away from the edges because I want to take a better brush to get closer. So I'm mainly just working around the bigger parts that I can fill in first. And you're just going to keep filling that in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a smaller pointy brush, just like I was saying, and I'm going to start filling in the parts that are more like intricate, more parts that I really have to get into detail. It's super simple, but also tedious. So now as you can see, I have that large flat brush again, and I'm pretty much just picking up some paint and going over the parts that look a little light. More the parts that look like pink instead of really red, like the rest of my face. And I'm just going in with that paint and patting it in. Next, I'm going to take a flat angled brush, and then I start packing in some pink paint. This is a pastel pink from the palette of the Mayron face paints. And pretty much I'm just dabbing it in, as you can see. I'm just blending it out with a small triangle sponge. You can purchase those anywhere, literally. Walmart, Target, drugstore, anywhere. 99-cent store. And I'm just blending it on in. You want to make sure it's as blended as possible because you don't want a straight line across where you can see where you highlighted. You really do want it to look kind of natural, as if there is some highlight on this face. And then we're going to go in with a darker red color. I took this color from the Jaclyn Hill palette, and I'm just going ahead and I'm kind of contouring the cheeks a little bit, as you can see. I highlight the nose, I contour the nose as well, as if I was doing a normal, regular face. Now we're going to take a thin brush and we're going to start doing our tear. I started out with a line first and just went down and tried to pretty much copy a tear. But I wanted it to be kind of long so it could be big so you could see it. And I'm using the white face paint as well. This is not eyeliner or anything. This is the white face paint from the Mayron palette. And as you can see, we're just filling that in. Next, we're just going to shade around it. The shading just brings more color to it. You're going to take some spirit gum. And this is how we get the... I always want to say diamonds. And I have to stop myself. You're going to put the pearls on your face with the spirit gum. Spirit gum is really sticky. So you do have to be careful when using it. Very sticky. Do not get it on your eyebrow hairs. Do not. It just gets really messy and gross, and it's just hard to work with. I'm just taking that and I'm placing it all around the face and placing the jewels all around the entire face. And as you can see, I just go all the way around. Then I go ahead and I take a flat brush and I start going over some of those brown lines like we talked about. Next, we're just going to take some Fenty Pro Filter foundation and just fill in around that heart so we can be all one color. We don't want to be a bunch of different colors, obviously. So then we're going to go ahead and hop on to the lips. We're using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Palette, Volume 1. I'm just using the black, literally the black lip color that's in there, and a small pointy brush. I purchased these brushes at an art store. It's called Art Supply Warehouse in Orange County. They have really cheap brushes there. Whenever my husband goes to get some tattoo stuff, I go in and I just have a ball with the brushes. All right, so we're just filling in the lips. And we're just going to go ahead and create this little heart effect on our lips. And I don't know why I chose a heart. I don't know. I just felt like Valentine's Day, heart on the face. It just makes sense. All right, and you're just going to keep filling that on in. Just like so. You're going to outline and fill in. Take your time. If you do mess up, you'll see the trick I use right now. I just used some of the Rihanna Uncensored Fenty lipstick. It's the Stunna paint. Stunna lip paint. That's the one that I used. And you will see how I fix it up, because one of my bottom lips, I have one bottom lip. The bottom lip I kind of messed up on. As you can see, it's a little bit wider. So we're just going to go in with some of that Stunna lip paint. And at first I used the small brush. Then I said, F this. I'm just going to go in with the wand. I said, fuck it, I guess. All right, so we're just going around and we're filling that in, making sure it looks right, making sure it looks even, because we don't want to walk around looking crazy as hell. Pretty much. All right. And then we're going to go ahead and fill the outline some more. There we go. And that's just adding some more red, just making sure that it stands out. Kind of just adding a little bit of shadow to it. Because of course, obviously, that's not our face. It's just the face is kind of like added on. So of course we want to add like a little bit of dimension. And I'm going around the whole entire heart with that. And again, this is the red shadow from the Jaclyn Hill palette, Volume 2. All right. And then I go in with some black shadow, and I go ahead and underline the eye a little bit. You can still, you can still see that I like my original skin color. So I wanted to go in there with some black so that it looked like it matched. Now we have some Perfection by Paris lashes. These lashes are amazing. She sent them to me. I'm so grateful. I absolutely love playing with them. They're soft. They don't really make my eyes itch. Sometimes you get lashes, and when I put them on, they're so sharp at the edges that they just make my eyes itch so bad in water. And I did not have that problem, which I was scared of, especially because they were so big and I had all this red paint on my face. My eyes water easily. And we have one more lash and we're done after this. All right, and that's with both lashes on, and we are finished. I'm really happy with this look. We have the whole sad look, sad girl. Okay, but other than that, that's it. Just the lashes, the glue, and you're finished. This is pretty much the finished look, guys. I mean, there's nothing else to really add. We did the foundation, we did everything we could. We did the pearls, we added little pearls here, and we are good to go. Thank you so much for watching. I will be back more. I'm sorry it took so long, but I promise I will be back. Thank you so much for supporting and watching. I love you guys.